Hey, what is going on, YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode here on ESGNet, as ESGNet presents Sports Gamers Talk Soapbox podcast. Here, this is episode 5, which really actually should be episode 6. Yes, because last week, yes, I did skip a week. There was actually quite a few things that were going on in the sports world, but personally, I had a lot of things going on in my own personal life, as I'll get to that a little later on here, and I'll get to that because that's actually going to affect the way how some of the videos will be put up here on the channel, and just amongst normal videos as usual. So I'm going to put up a few videos here, but here in the next week or so, videos may be slowing down because of a trip that I'm taking. So I'll get into that a little later on here in the podcast. But to this week, actually last 2 weeks now, there's been a lot of things going on. First off, Jake Arrieta, first pitcher in Major League Baseball, actually the first pitcher for the Cubs organization to ever have back-to-back no-hitters in back-to-back seasons. So congratulations to him. We'll talk about a little bit of that. I actually got down and sit down and watch that game. I think it was during the 5th inning I started watching it. So, very, very awesome game, and very cool, just cool way of seeing that happen, especially to that organization, and especially to that pitcher there. Also, rumor has it that Conor McGregor, whatever, he's going to be retiring. Is that a lot of people are saying that this is all a smoke and mirrors type of thing that's going on for UFC 200. Also, rumor has it said he's possibly going to be coming to the sports entertainment side of things, possibly coming to the WWE. I got some information about that. Also, we got a very touching letter. I read this letter online. I got a link to it. It's from Perry Ellis, and the KU basketball player, the senior there, who is be graduating here in just about another 2 weeks here at KU. And he wrote a very heartfelt letter to the coaching staff, his fellow players, and most importantly the fans of KU. So we'll talk about a little bit about that. Also, a 30-year-old basketball player went back to school and got arrested. Yeah, a 30-year-old basketball player playing for a local high school was arrested. Yeah, well, I'll tell you guys more about that here coming up. And Dee Gordon, I can't believe this. Of all people that I've actually just enjoyed seeing baseball, recently just got busted with PEDs, and we'll talk about how long he's going to be out of playing, and also out of quite a bit of cash there. That's all those and more coming up here on this week's show. So, I'm going to take a little water break here, and let's get started with the show. Alright, so here we go. First off, to start the show, we're going to actually talk about a WWE, I would say a legend, and especially in her time, because what she has done for pro wrestling, especially for women's pro wrestling, and what she has done being a pioneer for so many. I don't know, can we even call them divas anymore? Because now the title's been changed. For WWE women athletes there in the WWE. Talk about China, or better known as Joni Lawyer. She recently just passed away, age of 45, just last week. And our thoughts and condolences go out to her and to her family. And I'm sure you guys, a lot of you wrestling fans know, China is one of the first women to ever hold the, I believe she held the Women's Championship, and then later on held the Intercontinental Championship. She's actually the first woman to ever hold the Intercontinental Championship back in the late 90s, early 2000s there. And of course, she was the muscle for DX, and also the Mamacita for the late Eddie Guerrero back in what was it, 2000 and I want to say 2000, 2001. So, you know, I and when I'm saying this, I mean this as a diehard wrestling fan. So just take with a grain of salt. But I think honestly, I think she was probably one of the best wrestlers of that time. And I'm not gonna lie. I know she had a background. Her and Hunter had a background in bodybuilding, and actually she was recruited by Paul, Hunter, Triple H, whatever you want to call him. And when I was reading some of the stories here they've been having about her and how she got into the business and everything, I think it's just really cool that how she got into all this and everything. I'm gonna try to see if I can find that link to that article about her. That I think is also on a Wikipedia page of hers. But she is truly a very. I know she had towards after her WWE career was over with, and whatnot. She was into a lot of things. She was in Playboy, which that was because of WWE. They were trying to I was gonna say exploit their women, but that's the wrong word to say. But to promote the divas and promote what they do, as they're just as important as the guys are when it comes to the shows and stuff. But she also did porn there after her career, and rumor had it was that WWE was going to have her come back, and at some kind of capacity. I don't know exactly what she was going to be doing. I don't know if she was going to be the one, kind of starting this whole, along with this this diva revolution that's going on, or I should say the women's revolution in pro wrestling right now. But I know there was a rumor going around saying that she was supposed to be coming back and possibly maybe even getting into the Hall of Fame. And I hope that WWE does do that, and not just because she had her death, but I mean she honestly deserves it, because now a lot of these Attitude Era guys are getting older now, and I like to see a lot of them get into the Hall of Fame. And if you can put Scott Hall, who is the biggest, probably one of the biggest screw-ups in pro wrestling, who had so many chances at not just in the WWE, but in WCW, in TNA, why not what good reason to not put her in the Hall of Fame? So I'm hoping that they'll do that, and hopefully of course we won't hear about that until later. It'll be sometime next January in 2017 where they'll start announcing who the Hall of Fame inductees or Hall of Famers are going to be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. But I know a lot of people, including Triple H and Stephanie McMahon, also has some very kind words about her and her career in WWE, which I thought that was so great for them to pay respect and homage to her. They talked about her career in the WWE. They're on Raw, I think, on SmackDown. They showed montages of her and her biggest matches. One of my favorite matches of hers, I think I really enjoyed, was the match between her and Chris Jericho. And I want to say it was at a pay-per-view, and it was for the Intercontinental Championship. And if I'm not mistaken, I think at one time the two of them had to share the title. They were co-Intercontinental Champions. And I think that was probably my most favorite, and especially that match between her and Chris Jericho. I mean, she I remember in an interview a couple years later after that, she was interviewed about being the first woman, being Intercontinental Champion, and possibly, being the first woman, maybe possibly the first WWE Champion. And she said in that interview that she wanted Chris to take her to the max. She wanted to be treated just like one of the guys in that ring. And I think sometime here tomorrow or something, I'm gonna have to sit down and watch that match, because it was a really good match between those two. I have to try to Wikipedia that matchup of hers and Chris Jericho. So that was a really good match, and she really put everything on the line, and that really, I mean, it not just made her career look, even better, but it even made Chris Jericho's career even, launch his career even more, because, he just recently I think he was in maybe a year or two into the WWE when he jumped ship from WCW and made his debut there in the WWE. So I think that's a big, I think it's one of my favorite matches of all time. But I will admit, when I first seen her, I'm thinking, like, oh my god, like, who is that dude? Like, I'm like, wow, like, who the hell is this? And when they admitted that, they said that it wasn't a woman, or it wasn't a man, it was a woman. I'm thinking, like, what? Like, like, what the hell? And it wasn't until, you heard, especially during the early ages of the internet, and especially with, pro wrestling sites, because wasn't as many as there are today. They did interviews with her. You got to know her and whatnot, and what she was like, and especially when they had her character break away from the DX guys and have her pretty much on her own and establish herself as a singles competitor. I think it really opened my eyes. I'm thinking, like, gave me more respect what she was doing in the ring, especially with the guys. And she wanted to be, part of those main event matches, just like the guys are. So, but yeah, our thoughts here at ESGNet, and our prayers go out to the family of hers. And she's definitely one of the people out there who just is going to be really missed. She was one of those very favorites, especially of mine, in the WWE. So, also too, I mean, there was two other deaths this week that were not sports related. Of course, Prince, as you know, he passed away at the age of 57. Okay, yeah, 57. I'm being told by my producers, 57. And also Doris Roberts, very well known actress. She was 90. She's known as the mother of on the hit show Everyone Loves Raymond. And I can believe it. They said she was 90 years old. I'm like, oh, like, wow, like, she looked good at 90. I couldn't believe that. But yeah, so those two deaths, along with China's, was a bit of a shocker for a lot of people. Last week, going into this week. So, like I said, I'll try to see if I can find a link to her Wikipedia page where you can read about her career, and there's some other links I'll try to put down there for you guys to check out. Let's go ahead and talk about being told we're going to talk about the no-hitter. The first pitcher in Cubs history to throw a historic back-to-back no-hitters, Jake Arrieta, one of my favorite baseball players. I actually have him on, I want to say fantasy, but on my Diamond Dynasties last year's MLB 15 game. And something like this, you see a game like this, and you never know. You're like, oh, this game's gonna be a historic game or anything. But I actually watched that game, and I was kind of like dumbfounded. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, wow, like he is, he's gonna be, he could possibly get a no hitter the way he was pitching. And it wasn't until really to hit me until really until like the 7th inning where he had that he struck out the last guy. I'm thinking, like, oh my, he's only 6 outs away from doing it. And of course you got the announcers who are not really trying to say it because they feel like, if we say it, we're going to jinx it. And I was kind of thinking to myself the same way. I'm like, I really don't want to say it out loud, but, he could, the way he's been pitching right now and the way they've been swinging the bat, this, this might be his day. Which it was. I mean, he got, he's the first pitcher in Cubs history to throw a no-hitter in back-to-back seasons. Of course, he did that just last season. And I mean, seriously, this is awesome. And Cubbies are right now one of the favorites right now. I believe, I can't remember how many games they're on a winning streak right now, but they're hitting the bat. They're hitting the ball very, very well right now. And a lot of people are, enjoying this team and watching them play. And I've actually sat down and watched a couple of games here last couple of nights here, and the way they've been playing, it's just they've been continuing on exactly from where they left off during the postseason there against the Mets. But I know a lot of insiders say that they are the team right now in the National League that a lot of teams are going to have to look out for because they could really play some baseball here. If they get their, if they can have a good season. And, of course, you're going to have your peaks and your valleys. You're going to have your slumps and those type of things come along. But yeah, if they can stay ahead and win ahead and get ahead, especially against the Cardinals and the Reds, in that, well, I would even put in Pirates and the Brewers. I mean, really anybody in that division could take it. But the Cubs are the heavy favorites right now to take the NL Central. So definitely that's going to be a team I'm going to be watching for. Here in the last couple of years, they were kind of the team I was like, okay, this losing streak, this not winning a World Series has to come to an end. That's the same way I feel the same way with when I was, of course, my Red Sox did it, twice, but I feel the same way with even Cleveland. That's just another team that they got good. Here in the last couple of years, they've had pretty good teams here and. Just bad luck. Just, the ball just didn't go their way. So, but we'll see how the Cubs do here coming up. All right, let's go ahead and get to Conor McGregor. Yes, Conor McGregor, the current, I believe, UFC bantamweight champion. I believe he is. Now. This is kind of funny because this is, I don't know, I almost feel like the UFC is trying their best too hard to be like the WWE, trying to manufacture these storylines and stuff like that. And of course, wrestling, yes, pro wrestling is fake. I know. You don't have to remind me of that. I had a friend remind me about that a couple weeks ago or a couple days ago. I'm like, oh yeah, no shit. I don't watch it for the the serious the storylines or anything. I watch it for entertainment purposes, just being entertained, and also the the athletic abilities of a lot of these guys and girls or women, I should say. So, but yes, if you remember, if you probably heard this all over ESPN. It was a big deal on the internet. Internet just pretty much almost exploded. Conor McGregor announced his retirement on Twitter. And, when I've seen that, I'm kind of thinking, like, okay, there's something funny about this. Why would he make his announcement, especially your official announcement on Twitter, without going on TV, when you have the ability to go on ESPN or Fox and announce, during a press conference, that, you're going to retire. And, of course, this is all stemming to because of some complications and some deals and other issues that are going on right now for UFC 200. Now, as far as I know, I think, last time I heard, the McGregor fight, McGregor and whoever he's supposed to be facing, Diaz, that's what it is being called off. And yes, I know, you're probably thinking, you're not much of a UFC fan, you don't talk about, And you're right. I don't really talk about it too much. But it just kind of got me thinking about, because, like I said, with this whole fiasco going on, it feels like a WWE story. And when I say that is because rumor has it that this is a ploy, a tactic, you may say, work, as we call it in the pro wrestling. That they could be, it's a possible work to build up more anticipation, more hoopla about this matchup between Diaz and McGregor. And I believe right now John Bones Jones and Daniel, can't think of his name. Those are going to be taken. They're going to take place in the card on the card for the main event instead of the McGregor and Diaz fight. Now, for right now, supposedly it's been called off. I don't know if I haven't been reading anything lately about if it's been put back on, but it kind of makes me think that there's been rumors saying that this is a ploy that McGregor and even Dana White's in on it, and possibly Diaz is on it, to really trying to get those box office numbers up to get people to buy more, get people interested to buy more pay-per-views, because this could possibly be, if somehow this works out, this could be McGregor's last fight, and that would make a bigger draw to watch this pay-per-view and see if he can retire as the champion. So, like I said, it just kind of make you giggle and kind of laugh, because and then there was rumors saying, and I think these rumors are just total BS. I don't think it's gonna happen, because some of these guys that come from the UFC and try to do the WWE thing, I think the idea of them taking direction and kind of choreographing certain way to do a match and certain how to set up a story and all this kind of stuff is not really what they're known for. They're in there, they have to fight. They're that's the real deal. They go in there and fight. In WWE, it's not so the case. You go in there, you put on a show, you work a match, you make both guys, you make yourself and the other guy look good, and you have a finish. You have a already predetermined finish of who's going to win the match. And with some of these UFC guys that I've seen on TV and the way they talk and they act and their persona and stuff like that, doesn't seem to be a logical thing. To me, their egos are too big. That they're too too much pride is on with them to deal something with like that. So with Conor McGregor possibly coming to the WWE, yeah, right. I don't see it happening. There's better chance of CM Punk leaving UFC and coming back to WWE. Now that I would believe. There have been rumors about that because I guess in a couple of fights, CM Punk's been in. I don't know. I forgot what they call them in UFC. But I guess in the wrestling world, we call them dark matches. And I guess CM Punk has lost like 7 out of the last 10 matches. And by the sounds of it, he's supposed to have a match here back at UFC, I think UFC 190 or something like that. And then there's rumors saying that he could make his debut officially at UFC 200. But a lot of people are saying too that CM Punk could possibly show up Sunday night at the pay-per-view there in Chicago, because that is his hometown, and that's where he won his WWE Championship against Mr. McMahon. And a lot of people are saying that he could make a possible return. Like the rumor has it that, according to some wrestling websites, saying that CM Punk has been got permission from Dana White to talk to Mr. Vince McMahon and Shane McMahon about possibly making a return back into the WWE and having his coming back as a full-time superstar. So, I mean, if that happens, that'd be awesome. That'd be great. I will welcome as a fan will welcome him back with open arms, and tell him welcome back. Because we did the same thing for Brock Lesnar. So, I mean, why not for CM Punk? Yeah, I mean, Brock Lesnar went there and won, UFC World Heavyweight Championship. But to me, I still say to this day, he's better off in that world than he is in the pro wrestling sports entertainment world. Because to me, he's just not. He's the type of guy that he has to beat somebody up to really look to be good. He's a fighter. I don't see him as a entertainer. A sports entertainer like the wrestler, like everybody else is. He's legitimately a fighter. CM Punk, like I said, I haven't seen him fight yet in UFC, and of course I haven't seen none of the simulated matches that he's been in. I think they call them simulations. But yeah, I wish the best for CM Punk there, and I hope he does get a good fight, and I hope he does win his first UFC fight. And I'd like to see it. But if he does want to come back to WWE, and WWE says, yeah, we want you to come back, let's forget about the past and think about the future and whatnot, that would be awesome. So, let's continue on to actually I should have went ahead and went to when I was talking about Jake Guerrero, I should have changed it to transition to PEDs. Now, and I believe in the last episode we talked about PEDs, and we talked about there was a story I think I brought up about I think it was it was a tennis star that was using PEDs. Well, now PEDs came back. As of last week, there was been 2 players. Actually, last week and this week, just a couple days ago here, actually. You got Dee Gordon of the Miami Marlins, who has been suspended for 80 games without pay for his PED use. Also, I believe there's a Blue Jays player. I think there's a link down below in the description down there. You guys can go link to that link also. He's suspended for 80 games without pay. And it's kind of funny, especially with the Dee Gordon situation, is because if you guys remember, I think I mentioned this about, I think the first or second episode here on the podcast, about Barry Bonds being signed to the Miami Marlins as a hitting coach. yeah, put two together. Yeah, where do you think he's? I mean, and that's the joke that's going on right now in a lot of major league circles, and especially on the internet with memes and stuff like that. That Dee Gordon got his stuff from Barry Bonds. Come on, Barry Bonds is hooking up everybody down there with with PEDs and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, he's gonna be out for 80 games. Yeah, without pay. And it's kind of sad to see that, as Dee Gordon is one of those really good infielders, middle infielders right there, that has a lot of talent. And I don't understand why he would want to use PEDs, because he's an average hitter. He's not a power hitter. So I don't see why he, unless it's to increase his speed. He is up in age. I think he's around, I want to say 35, 36 years of age. So he's getting to, he's on the other side of he's already peaked in his career. He's on that downward, slide of his other side of his career. I just don't understand why he would want to do that. And you guys can read more about it down below. There's a link to the ESPN.com piece that they wrote about it and whatnot. To me, it's just, again, if you if you're like him and you've already paid your dues, you've already did everything you could do in baseball, and then you have to get to the point where you're using PEDs at this late in your career, why risk it? I mean, you might as well just say, okay, I'm going to play one more season, and this is it. Because this is a tarnish. I mean, 80 games. I mean, you're going to be out for the rest of the season. You're pretty much done. I'm trying to think. There's 28 games in a month. So yeah, you're looking at he won't be back until probably late July, early August. And same thing for the other guy, for the Blue Jays player there too. So I don't know. It's sad. It's I don't know. I mean, this is a soapbox, so I should be getting on my soapbox, but I just feel like I'm repeating myself. It's sad to see these guys like this that are on their tail end of their career doing this. Now, I can understand this is his, he was a rookie, or his, his second year or third year in the league and whatnot, and he's getting close to a contract year, and he wanted to try to boost his numbers up so he can make, try to get this, this being his contract year, he can make that money. And do something. But I mean, even then, don't even do it. You don't risk it, because everybody's gonna look at you and just kind of, they see you, and they want to sign you to a team. It's like, okay, is he on the juice? If he's on the juice, we don't need him. We don't need that kind of publicity especially in our, in our ball club, in our clubhouse, because he's gonna try to influence another guy to go on with him on, getting that junk, and that just makes the team look bad, especially the coach, So, alright. Enough about that. Let's move on to some basketball news here. KU senior, who just played his last game here just a couple of weeks back in the tournament. Talking about Perry Ellis, he is a Wichita, Kansas native. And he has been with KU all 4 years, and he is going to be leaving here in a couple of weeks, as he's going to graduate from KU. And it's a very, very good article. If you get a chance to read it, definitely check it out. I read some of it. I didn't get to read all of it, but it was a really good letter. It was a really heartfelt letter. Not too many athletes do this nowadays, as they are kind of, a lot of them are just kind of the one and done, or in this case 2 and done, when it comes to basketball. But the players tribute.com, Perry Ellis says, just simply thank you, Kansas. He tells all the Kansas fans there that he is honored to play for KU. It was a privilege that it's something he can always remember and always take with him. But it says, "Dear Jayhawk Nation, it was a sea of blue, red, and yellow and white. My father and I stepped into the Allen Fieldhouse Drive, and he's seen people wearing Jayhawk gear and smeared face paint all over their faces, and he knew that this was his play. This is something he wanted to play, and this was when he was age 12. And I'm just kind of just skimming over this. I don't want to read it read all of word for word from verbatim or anything. But yeah, it just tells about in the letter when he first made his appearance here on the campus, about how he's seen all the banners and the court being, of course, dedicated to James Naismith, the creator of basketball. But again, it's a great letter, and if you ever got a chance to go to the Allen Fieldhouse there at KU there in Lawrence, Kansas, if you're a true basketball fan, especially a college basketball fan, this is one of the arenas you have to go to, because it is truly a electrifying experience. It's something that you'll never forget. I've been there several times myself, and I wish this year would have been able to got a chance to go see his games and see him play. Next year, my goal is to go to games. I'm already looking at some season tickets, or possibly some tickets for next season. But it's one of the well-known basketball courts in the world, and he in this letter he's pretty much telling what he is honored and thankful to be able to be a part of this great family. Also, being friends with Danny Manning, of course, the KU legend there, who won the championship in '88. But also making friends with his son, Evan Manning, and so many other Jayhawk coaches and players, and past players and stuff like that. So, if you get a chance to, like I said, there's a link down below in the description, and you guys can check it out. It's a great article. It's a great read, and I think some of you guys got to definitely check out, because this is, like I said, there are not too many college basketball players, sit down and think about their time at their university they played at, and especially telling the fans thank you, and he is probably, I think, as far as I know, I think he's in the top 10 right now for the NBA draft coming up in June. So it's gonna be really fun to see where he goes to, and I can't wait to follow him in the NBA. When he makes it to the NBA. So, now moving on to some lighter news, if you want to call it lighter news. There's an article that I kind of had to stop and kind of scratch my head and like, okay, wait a minute, am I reading this article correctly? Like, this actually did happen? It's a funny one, I'm telling you guys. It's a funny one. As a matter of fact, I'll try to leave the link down below to the article also, but also we'll try to put the link on our Facebook page. I think I even tweeted this on our Twitter. But yeah, according to the Trevor Wilson or Wilhelm of the Windsor Star, the top player at Windsor, Ontario Catholic Central High School, was arrested earlier this week after border officers discovered a 30-year-old has been posing as a teenager for the last 6 months. Yeah. Now it goes on to saying that the young man, or the older man, Jonathan Nicole, came to Canada in late November after he fled war-torn nation of South Sudan, and he'd been living with a Catholic, the Catholic Central coach, Pete. I'm trying to see if I can say this correctly. Cosmo. Since then. And, he seen the guy and see how tall he was and everything, and believed that, he could be a good center. Quote, had a shot to play in the NBA. And this is coming from that coach. Neither the Canadian Border Services nor the school officials will shed any further light on this situation. But Nicole is being held under violation of Immigration Refugees Protection Act. Authorities elected to continue detaining him after reviewing the case on Tuesday. Additional hearing on the Immigration and Refugee Board is scheduled for sometime later in the week. Now, he is 6'9", 202 pounds, and he was basically put into this high school, this coach of this high school in there, and basically made him, portray himself as a teenage kid, a high school kid. And he'd been playing high school basketball, and people were wondering, like, okay, wow, like, this kid is, this kid is freaking tall, and yeah, it, somehow you can read more about it, but eventually someone found out who he really was, and they turned him into the police, and of course they found he's a refugee and whatnot from South Sudan. And it says perhaps frequently enrolling in high school was the only realistic route he saw to make it out of his native country. It's without saying that there are layers of the tale to the public will never fully understand. Of course, I can understand why he was doing this. He was trying to flee a war-torn country. But why would you hide yourself as try to pass yourself off as a 17-year-old kid trying to play basketball when you're actually 30? I don't know. But yeah, you can read more about the article and more about the young man, or the 30-year-old man, more on the Upper Rocks website, and there's a link down below, and definitely check it out. So it's a funny article. I kind of chuckled at it, but at the same time, there was a lot of things I could understand coming from all of that. Again, yeah, there's the article down there below. You guys can check that out and see how all that works out for you. All right, now this past weekend this Thursday was the NFL draft. And we're going to get into a little bit about that. Now, honestly, I don't know much about these guys or anything like that. But I will talk about a few of them. Of course, the Los Angeles Rams got the first number 1 pick. Of course, got that from Tennessee. They switched spots in the order in the draft there. Of course, that was, it was basically a power move for the NFL to help the Los Angeles Rams, have a star player to attract people and get the excitement for the city again, having that football club back in town. And of course, from California, Jared Goff got that, the quarterback there, first round. Carson Wentz from North Dakota State. He was the number 2 pick for the Eagles. And then there's, of course, I'll leave a link down below of all the other draft selections there and whatnot. But one selection that really got a lot of people scratching their heads, like, okay, is this for real? Did this just actually happen? And that's Laramie Tunsil, a outside or offensive tackle from Ole Miss, and he was the 13th pick of the NFL draft in the first round. Of course, that was the 13th pick was by Miami. Miami picked him up. Now, he was actually a top 5 guy coming into this draft until a video supposedly leaked, or actually his, I believe his Instagram account was hacked, and that's what's been saying right now on the internet. But there's a video of him wearing a gas mask, there was a bong attached to it, and supposedly it was something he was inhaling. And a lot of people were saying, of course, it was probably marijuana. And of course, he was actually interviewed when the draft selection was made, and they asked him, was that you in that video? Now, this is going on now. This video was released just a few minutes after the draft started. So the first couple of picks were already announced or being made and whatnot, and then the videos were released, and it was kind of a real-time thing. Like, people were like, okay, are you seeing what I'm seeing? Are you, this just was leaked. How, what was going on? And of course, there's a lot of conspiracy theories going on. Some people are saying it's sabotage for other teams were sabotage, blatantly had this video. They, put it on the internet because they were sabotaging, the other top, the top 5 or top 6 picks up there that wanted him. and yeah, he seen it and decided, okay, we don't want him, and so they knew that he was going to fall off the draft board, and that's why it got, he fell down so much to the point where a team decided to pick him out. And of course, that was the Dolphins. People were saying, or even were accusing the Dolphins for putting that video out there, and then of course they've denied it. And right now no one knows how this video came about. Now, also there's also a text message about it's a text message between him and his head coach there at Ole Miss. Laramie is asking his head coach to help him out by paying his mother's electrical bill, and of course the coach says he'll try to see what he can do and whatnot. And of course that's going to be now an investigation now by the NCAA of if that's true or not. And if it is, that is going to be hot water right now for Laramie, and for, most importantly, it's going to be hot water for Ole Miss. So, yeah, I mean, this is, this is, one of the big stories that have been talked right now here. Not to mention, one of the other big stories a lot of people have been talking about is Johnny Manziel. Manziel, of course, 2 years ago was the number one pick for the Browns. And just recently, after this offseason, just a couple weeks ago, he was released from the Browns and put on waivers. And a lot of rumors are saying that there's some teams. One of the teams possibly could be is my Denver Broncos are looking at him possibly as a backup quarterback. I believe even the Cowboys are still in. Of course, they've been linked to him since he was in at Texas A&M. People are always saying that he should be playing in Dallas. A lot of people say that that's a bad place for him because that is his backyard or his front porch or wherever you want to say, because he is from the state of Texas. And that's, a lot of people saying that's a bad place for him to be at. So, yeah. But the biggest news of the week for Manziel is he was indicted here about the abuse to his girlfriend, which happened earlier this past year. And so he's been indicted, and he could be looking at some serious jail time here if he is found guilty of those charges. So, yeah. Yeah. Not Johnny Manziel. Of course, he was at the music festival there in Los Angeles, and there's been pictures of him, of course, by way of TMZ, showing him at this, dancing and drinking. And then, of course, they were asking him questions about him possibly playing in the NFL, what his odds are, and he pretty much says that his odds are that he's gonna be with another team. And like I said, I think I've said this before, and I think I'm gonna just kind of finish it up. But the guy is an idiot. He needs to get his head out of his ass, and he needs to, if he's really truly passionate about playing football and taking this seriously and making money now, and try to recoup and salvage whatever career he has left in the NFL, he needs to do it now. If he has a drinking problem, he needs to get it solved now. But at the same time, it might be already too late, because he's been partying. He's had already been he got indicted with the charges because of his girlfriend. What else? Rumor has it he's been hanging out with Josh Gordon. Of course, Josh Gordon's already in trouble. He got enough issues right now for him. Drew Rosenhaus, just a couple weeks ago, I believe it was April 19th of this, so just a couple weeks ago, he, after just 2 months of representing Manziel, his agent terminated Manziel as a client, and this is the first time that Rosenhaus has first time in 27 years of his career, he fired an NFL player. So he fired Manziel. He broke ties with Manziel. And then, of course, even that, if you guys remember, that's later in that day, Nike ended relationships with Manziel. So, I mean, right now his career is going in a shitter. I think he is honestly done. I don't want to hear no more about him. He had his chance and he blew it. The guy that could have been, that other quarterback that could have, had the opportunity to be in that position, he just got screwed out of millions of dollars because of this, because of Manziel, playing possum, and saying that he can do the, showing off that he can do all this and that, and then he can't. I mean, you can't even get away from the bars because you have to drink, you have to go, do all this, and it's just like, are you? Wow. So yeah, but yeah, the claim from his ex-girlfriend Colleen Corley. The domestic violence charge, and he could be up to seeing some serious jail time. They say anywhere from 5 to 10 years for jail time for what he did, and this is all allegedly, but according to his ex-girlfriend, Manziel forced her in a car, pulled her hair, and threatened to kill her, or actually threatened to kill her and himself. By running the car off the road. But yeah, Manziel was indicted by a grand jury on the misdemeanor charges for the incident. And again, if he is charged guilty, he could be doing, like I said, some serious jail time for that crime. And I mean, seriously, I think the guy, he needs to accept it and realize what he's done and get help. And if at the same time says he does not want help, I'm a big proponent of, if where I'm offering you help, there's ways of getting help, and you don't want to do it. Okay, fine, you're on your own. And I know that's cruel and mean and all the nasty things you probably want to say about me, but hey, I mean that's life. I mean. And especially with the talent that you have, I mean, why would you want to waste it by, saying and doing stupid stuff like that, Because now no one takes you seriously, People are just going to use you and what you say as just, a soundbite they can put on the nightly news, and just use you as entertainment purposes only, not, nothing sincere or real, just, oh, there's crazy Manziel, just listen to what he has to say today. So yeah, I don't know. It's a sad day when you see a talent like that that has to go and do stuff like that. So, and if I'm not mistaken, by the time this by the time this goes on YouTube, the NFL draft will be over with, so all the picks should be made already. So hopefully your favorite team drafted the guy that you think they need for their team for next season. But again, it should be pretty cool. Now, Derrick Henry, the Heisman Trophy winner from last year from Alabama, he is now with the Tennessee Titans. If you haven't already known, he was the second round, 45th pick in the draft there. So that's some news right there that I just looked at right here on my screen. So, but yeah, some pretty good picks. Teams made some pretty good moves there, and just now we just have to see if these work out. And of course, these contracts are not going to be as crazy as they used to be, but minimum 4 years, 4-year contracts, a couple $1 million. So it's gonna be nice to see how these teams fare out and see who's gonna be, what team took a risk and it worked out for them, or what team took a risk and then just shot them back in their face. And of course, we all know about the Browns, and we were seeing their first round draft pick from last year just everywhere, all over TV, and it's not a good thing. So, and of course, I if these other teams like Dallas, or even my Denver Broncos are gonna get Menzel, I'm hoping that they're gonna give him a low ball contract, and he's gonna have to work for that money, especially not guaranteed money. Not too much guaranteed money. And I don't know. It's just, to me, with anything, I don't care what team you are, you're putting yourself in. You're pretty much playing Russian roulette with that guy. Because I just don't trust him. Until he shows otherwise, I would not pick him up for anything. I wouldn't even pick him up for a pickup football game. I mean, seriously, I just wouldn't. I wouldn't. So, all right. Try and think and see here what else we got left to talk about, and I think that's about it for this week. So, if there's a story I missed out for you guys, I'm sorry. I try to collect enough stories for the week, and especially for the last 2 weeks now. The only stories that have really been talked about are the NFL draft, Manziel, and of course the death of China. But Sunday is the big is WWE's pay-per-view. It is Backlash. Usually it's Extreme Rules, but I think they switched. What they did was they switched venues, and they went ahead and switched pay-per-view. So this pay-per-view is going to be in Chicago. Originally it was going to be in New Jersey. But it's going to be in Chicago, and then in 2 weeks it'll be Extreme Rules, and that, like I said, that will be in New Jersey. So they switched venues and switched pay-per-views. I don't know why, but apparently they wanted Backlash first. Backlash. Wow. Show you my age right there. Payback. They took Payback first as the first pay-per-view after WrestleMania, so we'll see how that goes. There's a lot of good matches there. Of course, the match I'm looking forward to is hopefully AJ Styles can get to the promised land and win the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Not to mention, what else is there? There's Divas, or the women's match. That's going to be a good one. Charlotte versus Natalya. And then you got, what else do you have? Oh, of course, you have to watch out for Gallows and Anderson. I'm really thinking that they're going to be involved somehow. I don't know how. I want to say, screw over Roman Reigns, but that would be too predictable. So I don't know. It's going to be an interesting night. I wouldn't mind. I honestly think we'll see a debut of Finn Balor. I think we'll see him debut at the pay-per-view, and that right there, that's something I'm really looking forward to. I can't wait to see him finally on the main roster. Oh, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. That is going to be a classic, you guys. If you've ever seen these two guys go at it, when they were in Ring of Honor. And of course, NXT, but now them being on the main roster, being on a big pay-per-view, that match right there is going to steal the show. I promise you that. That match is going to steal the freaking show, and I can't wait. So, again, those are the three matches. Like I said, the main match I'm looking forward to is the match between Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. So, those are my three matches to look forward to. Oh, man. Fighting a cold here. Got a little nasally here. If you guys been listening to me, I've been a little nasally here as of late. What I was gonna say, yeah. No, yeah. My final thing on here before we go. Here in about 2 weeks, I'm going to go out of town. I'm actually not going very far. I'm only going like 2.5 hours away from my home. But I haven't been to this place for the last 12 years. I'm going down to a little small town called Macon, Missouri. It's in central Missouri. It's pretty much almost dead center of Missouri. And I'm going to there to go see. My dad's side of the family lives there, and I'm gonna go down there to visit some family. Also, my longtime, guys I grew up with, my buddies down there, like childhood friends I grew up with. Gonna go down there and visit them. I think it's gonna be. I'm going down. I think I'm going down for 2 weeks. So I think here in the. I'm hoping to get. I'm planning on bringing all my stuff that I have for my videos, like my game systems, my 2 computers, microphones, all that kind of stuff. And I'm going to try to do a podcast with them. So I think that'll be in 2 weeks. I think both weeks we'll have them on. I think my buddy Eric and I think my cousin Josh are going to be probably the main 2 people that will be on the show. But yeah, we're going to have them on here. They'll actually be my first 2 guests. Kind of weird because I thought by now my first guest would probably be my buddy Steve. But I'm trying to get that worked out here where we can both try to meet up on here, and he can be on here also too. Try to get him through. What do you call the damn? I can't even think of the damn name now. The Skype. Try to get him on Skype here, and so he can be a part of the show. But like I said, that'll be in with Eric and my buddy Eric and my cousin Josh. That'll be in 2 weeks, I think. Here in 2 weeks. So I'm gonna go down there for 2 weeks. They'll probably be on both Saturday shows. I'll be starting doing live streams. But the reason why I've been, of course, falling behind in videos and stuff like that is trying to get ready for this trip, but also to work. Been getting really busy. We're getting towards the end of the year here now. Trying to get a lot of stuff packed up, cleared away, and for the school year, because the school year is about to wrap up. And so that means we have to get rid of a lot of stuff, and so I've been working a lot of extra hours, stuff like that, just trying to get ready to for this because next week is the last week of school, and that's when we'll start getting rid of a lot of trying to get rid of a lot of things for to end the school for the school year, and try to get ready for the summer session where they'll have the food court open, but we'll also have other things like camps that'll come through. One of the camps is the Chiefs camp, so I'll be doing that again later this summer. So like I said, we'll try to see what we can do, and video wise, maybe there might be a good chance. I would say almost say 90% chance that videos will probably be a little slow. But on second thought, they may not be. They may come out on a more routine basis. But I will say that live streaming will come up. I want to say we'll do a live stream every single day, but by the looks of it, I could say every single day, but I'd be lying. Let's put it that way. So we're gonna try certain days. I know Saturday nights works the best for me, and also for my buddy Steve, who will be doing live streams, not just on this channel here on ESGNet, but also on my other channel, my Let's Play channel, and that's Icon 02 or Let's Play with Icon 02 or whatever it's called. There's a link down below to that website or to that YouTube channel there. And that's what we'll be live streaming over there from time to time. Over there we'll be playing GTA, probably some DC Universe online. What else? I can't think what else, but there'll be some things we'll be playing occasionally and stuff like that. As for Let's Plays, I may do some Let's Plays live streaming that, or I may be doing just live commentary on those. So it just all depends, time wise and all that kind of stuff, all that good stuff. So, but yeah, live streaming every single day. I do really want to do that. It's just I have to come up with I gotta figure out which game I'm gonna do that with, especially if it's on ESGNet. Sporting game we're gonna play with. So that means we'll end up having two Road to the Show characters. One for a regular edited series like I have already, and also then a live stream only series. Not to mention, we may end up live streaming the new season of college football that I'm trying to get back into again with the Nebraska Cornhuskers. That might be a live stream only type of deal. Don't know yet, but once I get sit down here, like I said, this week coming up, it's going to be kind of hectic, but at the same time, I actually have some time to sit down and think about what to do and how that's all going to come about for the channel and the upcoming summer, because I'll have the summer and I do a lot more stuff and a lot more videos will be produced and whatnot. But Sunday, starting at noon here on the channel, you'll see the pay-per-view predictions here. So check those out. They'll be starting at noon, from noon till 3:30. I think 3:30 is the last video. So check those out. Got some pretty good predictions there of the matches, as always, and I think you guys will really enjoy them. So I can't wait for that. But like I said, videos may be slowing down quite a bit. I do have some videos I'm going to be working on tomorrow. When I'm saying tomorrow, I'm recording this on Saturday night, so this won't be up until Sunday morning. So I really should be saying I'm going to be voiceovering some videos today. So Saturday or Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, or whatever this comes up, I'll be doing voiceovers for videos for next week, for that Monday through Saturday of next week. So, or this upcoming week. So yeah, like I said, we got a lot of stuff going on, and like I said, I got this trip coming up that I'm gonna go hang out with some friends from high school. I haven't seen a lot of these friends. Some of them I have not seen since 2004. Some of them, last time I seen them, we were all out in Vegas. Went to a wedding. A friend of ours, we all have a friend that moved from Missouri to Las Vegas, and he got married, and that was back in 2012, I believe. So yeah, but anyway, we're gonna be, but now I'm gonna be down there, and I'm gonna hang out with them. And like I said, just depending on what we're doing and whatnot, I mean, I may end up live streaming, might have a drunk live stream, and you guys, they'll be on there, or whatever. I don't know. Just depends on how things go and whatnot. If I'm not too busy down there and trying to do stuff down, but I am going to try to get some videos produced and edited and stuff like that before I go down there. So when I do have time and I'm not doing just other stuff or not visiting other people, I can record, do voiceovers, and then put those up on the channel. So, but like I said, there may not be too many videos, but there will be some videos at some capacity during that time. So I just want to let you guys know about that and whatnot. So I'm going to shut up here. I'm going to take off, and I'm going to thank you guys for listening. If you have listened here for the last hour and 9 minutes, thank you so much. But come on back here. We'll try to see if we'll try another episode here of this one, to not try to skip a week like we have been here lately here on the Sports Gamer Soapbox podcast talk show, and we'll see what's going on with what's going on in the world of sports. So thank you guys so much, As always, if you guys enjoy the video or enjoy this podcast, hit that like button. Also, subscribe to the channel here for more of the podcast and other series here on ESGNet. You guys can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Tumblr. The links are down below in the description. Not to mention the links to all the stories that we mentioned here tonight, or this morning, or whatever you're watching this, are down below, also in the description, and check those out. So that is it for me, you guys. As always, keep yourselves healthy, and I will see you guys next time. See you guys later.